Hey everyone, Britt and Chris Carmichael here, bringing you the Elevated Life series where we teach you simple mindset shifts to create radical transformation in your life. Today's topic is how to start a simple meditation practice, because we get asked this question all the time. How are you so successful? How are you so peaceful? How are you doing it all? And meditation is a huge part of our practice. So we thought today we'd share 5 simple tips on how you can start that meditation practice for yourself. If you're tuning in, say hello in the comments. Where are you watching from? And what do you struggle most with when it comes to meditation?
Yeah, like Britt said, this is a question we get asked all the time because so much of the stuff that we teach and so much of the stuff we keep coming back to, at the core center of it is meditation. And the reason why I like to think about, or the way I like to think about meditation is, if you can imagine a jar, a mason jar, let's say, and it has, let's say, half or a quarter filled with sand and the rest is filled with water, and you were to shake it. Each grain of sand represents a thought. It can be a sad thought, it can be a happy thought, doesn't matter, but a thought. But when you shake it, what you notice is that the jar is in just this state of total pandemonium. And for so many of us, that's how we live our lives. You know, it's said that I've seen stats all the way up to, we think 90,000 thoughts a day. I've seen as low as 40,000, but even at that, that's a ton of thoughts. And so the question is, how do we get off that hamster wheel? How do we get out of a place where we're constantly nonstop thinking? How do we get past the distraction of, we all have cell phones now, we're all on the internet, we're all checking YouTube, we're all looking at Instagram, we're all on Facebook, and it gets into that consistent space where it's like everything seems rushed, everything seems stressful, and even the smallest decisions are hard to make when you have so many thoughts bumping through your head.
Yeah, and Alex says street noises, people yelling, cars honking interrupt my meditation practice.
Yeah, so for a lot of us in the beginning, one of the things that you're going to have to do is, like Alex is saying, is eliminate noise. Eventually in meditation, it won't matter. But definitely when you're beginning to practice, anything can throw you off. And the big reason why is because so often our lives are conditioned to respond to other people. And we're so used to doing that. We're so used to thinking in the future. We're so used to thinking in the past. We're so used to being pulled in so many different directions. And what meditation is designed to do is to silence all of that. The way I like to really think about this is that you're silencing the mind. You're allowing the mind just to be there. The thoughts will be there. Eventually, if you stop shaking that mason jar and just let it sit down on a table or something, all the sand will settle. It doesn't mean there's no sand. A lot of people are like, well, I'm going to get in meditation, there's going to be no thoughts. No, that's not going to happen. So what will happen, though, is the thoughts will be there, but it won't matter. The water will become more clear, so your intuition, your other things that will come to you you'll have a lot more clarity on what you're doing in your life, what you're thinking, how your emotions are affecting you, and you'll start to realize, what am I constantly thinking about? What are these habitual patterns that are coming up for me? And without doing this, without creating a meditation practice, you're just kind of going at the whims of whatever your mind wants to do. And for a lot of us, it's not always that positive.
Yeah, and it's called meditation practice for a reason, because meditation is just a tool to bring you into the present moment. And when you're following these trails of thought, if something comes up and you follow it, then you're leaving the moment. You're not present, right? And so meditation is to get you to stop following all those thoughts, because like Chris said, those thoughts are going to keep coming up. But it's what you do with them. Do you give them attention and awareness and let them lead you? Or do you notice them and say, no, thank you, and let them subside?
Yeah, this is a big difference in becoming, when we talk about reactive versus responsive. If you haven't meditated, you haven't spent time sitting with your thoughts, letting them come up but not reacting to them, like, you'll get into a more responsive mode once you've sat there long enough and said, hey, like, anger can come up for me, but it won't lead me to doing specific actions that I know will have major consequences in my life. If someone makes a comment about you, your appearance or something, or work that you've done, and you immediately get pissed off and you immediately go into anger mode, that's that reactive thing. And so we want to come to a space where no matter what gets said about us, and no matter what happens in our life, no matter what tornado that we're in, we can sit right there in the center, right in that eye, and be relaxed and be calm and come from a place of knowingness and intuition versus just jumping out there and just doing it.
Yeah, and if street noises and honking cars are pulling you away from your center of peace and awareness, then what will happen when a major life trauma happens or something bigger than just a honking car comes along? If you can practice through the street noises and the small subtleties that life is, the small distractions of life, then when the bigger ones come, you'll be able to stay in that more focused and centered space of stability for yourself. So I want to know, how many of you are currently practicing meditation now? Is this a part of your daily life? Is this a part of your weekly routine, a daily routine? Or are you like, I'm not interested. I have no time for that. Recognize the emotion and know it's a visitor that will leave. Yes,
exactly.
Great perspective on that. So let's dive into the 5 simple tips to start your meditation practice. And the first one is to just create a space and to decide how much time you're going to commit. I guess that's step 1 and 2. Create a space and decide how much time that you're going to commit to your meditation, and set a timer.
Yeah.
Because if you don't set a timer, you're going to get 30 seconds in thinking like, I don't know how long I've been here. What's going on? Am I missing the world? What's going on?
Yeah, you get that FOMO. And what really is, you want to set a consistent time every single day. The first step really is set a consistent time, because what happens is people start to want to do something like, I want to do a meditation practice, and then they'll go, well, I'll just fit it in my day somewhere where it's convenient.
Schedule it or it isn't happening.
It will never be convenient. Life is hardly ever convenient. And so what you really have to do is, rather than saying I don't have enough time, you have to come to a space where saying this is a priority for me. Mm-hmm. And so no matter what happens, I'm going to do it. So for me, I always set alarms in my phone, schedule it, set alarms. And so the big deal here is I set a specific time, and I know when that alarm goes off. I make it a nice alarm, so it sounds like a little gong, the little dinging of the gong or a bell or something like that. Mm-hmm. And say, hey, when that thing goes off, I'm going to immediately meditate, no matter what else it is I'm doing, unless I'm driving. Yeah. So besides that, as soon as that alarm goes off, that's for me. The second thing you want to do is create that space. I like this because what you do when you create the space is you're allowing your mind and your body to get used to something. You're saying, hey, when I'm here in this position, or when I'm in this part of my house, or when I go in this specific nature spot that I love, and I sit here, or I stand here and walk, or whatever it might be for you, however you like doing your meditation, you're telling yourself, hey, I'm going to start slowing down, and I'm going to come to a space where this is my little peaceful place, and I'm just here alone with my own thoughts. Yeah,
set a date with your soul, because your soul will start to recognize, oh, okay, they're showing up. They're ready to have this conversation. They're ready to receive the guidance I'm here to share. But when your thoughts are moving too quickly and you're paying attention to those and you're going down all these different crazy rabbit holes that your thoughts are shooting you down, then you miss that subtle voice of your intuition or divine guidance. So meditation really is a practice to clear out all the crazy clutter between our ears so that we can actually hear.
Yeah, and so the third step is to get comfortable. And a lot of people screw up this step really big. And it's because they see people, from the East that sit in lotus position, or, with your folded legs, your legs all folded up, almost like you're in Indian style, but more complicated. And they say, well, since I can't do that, since it's uncomfortable for me, obviously I can't meditate. And really, the position is not that important. What's important is for you just to be comfortable. When you sit in lotus position, once you've done yoga stretches and postures for a long time, it's the anatomically correct position. It puts your hips in really good extension. And so for a lot of people, once they've practiced it for a long time, that's comfortable. But it doesn't matter. You can sit in a chair. You can lie down unless you easily fall asleep. Put your back up against a wall. What you're going to notice happen when you start meditating is that your mind's going to go insane. I mean, it is literally going to hate it. And it comes to a space where the thoughts will come up. I'm uncomfortable. Well, I need to be doing this thing. I need to be doing that thing. Why are these ants crawling on me? And you're like, I'm inside. There's no ants crawling on me. But your mind will have that thing come up because it is resisting being in the present moment. Again, like we said, it's just a practice. And you have to practice being in the present moment. It's not natural if you've gone through like schooling and use your logical mind and use that achiever's mind for success and all those things. If you've been conditioned to do that, which is exactly what I was so conditioned with the achiever's mind that sitting still seemed crazy. I mean, it just seemed like, why would I ever do this? This never makes sense. And then once I did it, what happened, I got so much more clarity in my life. I got answers that I couldn't figure out with my logical mind. It's almost just like I was given them. Like you have that flash of insight you hear people talk about, or inspiration. It always happens when I'm silent. It always happens when I'm not directly thinking. And all of a sudden, boom, it pops in. I'm like, ooh, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to go chase down. That's what I need to put as a priority in my life. The answers just start to come. That water in that mason jar has become clear, and now you can see exactly what's going on.
When we coach clients, we often address their meditation practice, and we hear this excuse all the time, but I'm not good at it. And that's why you practice. You're not good at most things that you first begin, especially when your mind is in control. So it's important that you break through that belief of I'm not good at meditating. No one's good at shooting free throws if they've never picked up a basketball. So no one's going to be good at turning off their thoughts the first time they sit down to meditate. This is a lifelong practice, and it can be done at any time. Like Chris said, you don't have to go to the Nepal Himalayas and sit in lotus pose for 10 days straight. You can drop into meditation standing in the grocery store line. If you're just like, ooh, need to come back to my present moment, need to tune in, focus on my breathing, bam, you're done. Like it doesn't have to be a 30-minute process. But I will tell you this, there's a saying, if you can't meditate for 10 minutes, then you need to meditate for an hour.
It's true.
And I'll share this quick story with you guys before we finish this up. And if you have any questions about meditation or the struggles that you're going through with that you experienced during your practice, leave them in the comments below and we're happy to answer. But I remember one particular time in the beginning of my meditation practice, I sat down, I'm just relaxing. When people say I'll meditate on it, they're already doing it wrong, because meditation isn't contemplation. It's clearing out to open up to receive. And so I'm meditating and my inner voice says, I can't be doing this shit. And I thought, what are you talking about? What shit? And they said, this, I gotta go do the laundry. And right then and there, I knew I needed to up my meditation practice to a good 30 minutes because I don't even do the laundry. Thank you for doing the laundry. So your brain will try to control you by coming up with all these excuses and all these things that you need to do. And when I realized that my brain was using excuses that I don't even practice in my normal life, that's when I knew I needed to up my meditation practice.
Yeah, so the important point here is to realize that that's going to happen and be okay with it. Like what a lot of people do is they'll sit down and their mind will start to go nuts like we talked about, and then they'll judge themselves for it. And what ends up happening is by judging yourself or by comparing how you think perfect meditation should be to what you're actually doing, you're keeping your mind engaged. And as you keep your mind engaged, you're actually getting further and further away from meditation. So the whole point is just to sit there and let it go crazy. Be okay with that space.
So the final step in how to start your simple meditation practice is to focus on your breath. When your thoughts pop up, don't use your attention and awareness to follow them down to the next thought and this, and then I got to do that. Just return your attention and your focus back to your breathing, because your breathing is rooted in the present moment. So to recap, today's simple meditation practice is one, to set a consistent time every single day that you will show up. And even if that's for 30 seconds, even if it's for a minute, just start being consistent, because you'll build a positive habit. Number two, create that sacred space. Find a space where you can be distraction-free, where you feel calm. Don't meditate in the middle of chaos. Go find somewhere relaxing and peaceful in your environment.
Yeah, and like we said, in the beginning, that will matter a lot. Get noise-canceling headphones, play some binaural beats, play some calm music if that's what you need to do to drown out the rest of the sound. Get earplugs, that's fine. Whatever it is that you need to do to get started, that's what to do. Eventually, like I said, it won't matter. You'll be right in the middle of the chaos. Everything will be going on around you. People will be yelling. The fire engine will be running down the street, and it won't break your state whatsoever. There are Buddhist monks who light themselves on fire as a demonstration of their silence within. And what ends up happening is they sit there on fire until they die. But the reality is their state never breaks. And not that I encourage anybody to do that. Don't
go light yourself on fire, people.
But the reality is that people do that. And so they come to a place where even that won't matter. Even intense pain, even knowing like, hey, this is going to be over with soon. Even those things don't break their states. And so if you can get to where you can minimize the distractions in the beginning, you eventually come to a place where none of it matters anymore. And you're able to meditate like right now. Right now, we're talking, I'm giving 80% of my focus to the talking. I'm giving 20% of my focus to my breathing. And so in that way, I'm always meditating. I'm always centered in myself. Despite the fact that I'm talking or making big pictures or thinking about stuff, it won't matter. There's still a part of me that's just with me. And so because of that, I'm not anchoring myself out in the future or in the past. I'm just always able to stay right here.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Hey, what's that movie where they say, or it's a song, oh, I'm sorry, did I break your concentration?
Pulp Fiction? Pulp Fiction.
I keep playing that Pulp Fiction line in my head, like, oh, I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? That's what I feel like your thoughts are doing to you while you're in meditation. Okay, so set a time every single day, create space, get comfortable in your body. You don't have to sit in lotus pose, just lay down. Whatever you need to get comfortable, set a timer so you don't have to think about how long have I been here? It's been 10 years, oh my God, I gotta go do some things. And then focus on your breath. Whenever your attention starts to wander, bring your awareness back to your breath, noticing the inhalation, the pause, the exhalation, the pause. And when you do that, just one simple round of breath in and out, you're back in the present moment. And in the present moment, there can be no such thing as fear and worry, because when you're present, you're aware that everything is okay.
Yeah, and start small. When you set that timer, don't set it for 30 minutes, especially if you've
Don't be that guy.
Especially if you've never done it before. Start super small. Set it for 2 or 3 minutes. Once you get past 2 or 3 minutes, set it for 5, set it for 10. Yeah. Whatever it is that you end up being able to do what you can do today, and don't feel like you need to do more. You don't. You just need to get started. The whole deal, what's that saying? It's like, you know, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Yeah. It's that same sentiment. It's just get in the game. Just do something. Yeah. Just sit there while you're doing dishes and focus on that breathing while you're doing it. Just start. And what will end up happening is you'll notice that your thoughts will slow down. What's actually happening is your brain wave cycles are slowing down. Everything gets more clear. You get all that clarity rushing in, and you start to feel like, man, all these things that I was worried about, all these things that I was anxious about, all these fears that I had, I'm making up. They're just thoughts that are running around through my head. It's always okay to be concerned. It's always fine to have that little bit of that fear, a little bit of that worry, because you need to do that sometimes, but not to be taken over by it. It's not about let's be fearful and then never make good decisions. It's about let the fear come up, let it go away, and come from a place where you're centered and where you know that you can handle it all.
So I'd like to challenge you guys to get focused, to begin your meditation practice right now. So once we close down this video, or if you're watching the replay, as soon as you're done watching this video, instead of going on to the next thing because your brain is telling you this and that and this, I want you to stay present. I want you to stay focused. So as soon as we close down this series today, I want you to take 10 long, deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Notice the air coming into your body, how it makes your body feel. Notice your shoulders relaxing. Take 10 long, deep meditative breaths, and you'll feel so much better. Just start with the 10 breaths.
Yeah, and breathe in and out of your nose. If you breathe in and out of your mouth will dry out, and then it'll feel awful, and you'll be like, I gotta get some water. Breathe in and out of your nose, and you won't have to deal with that.
And just to add on to that, when you breathe in and out of your mouth, your breath is actually not passing your brain, and so you're not breathing oxygen up into the brain. And meditation and blissfulness and all of that are when we bring more oxygen into the body. And so you want to be breathing in through your nose so that the air actually, and the prana, the life force, what's keeping us alive, guys, if you stop breathing, you die. So that thing that's keeping us alive, although we can't see it, is actually going in through the nose, refreshing the brain and bringing more oxygen to it so it's more alive, and then we exhale, right? So breathe in through your nose all the time. Stop being a mouth breather. Okay, so that wraps up our talk for today. But if you want to begin your meditation practice, if you want to master your meditation practice and learn all the ins and outs of how you can start, because there's limitless ways to meditate. There's dynamic and is it dynamic meditation? Yeah, meditation. There's movement meditation. There's quiet meditation. There's so many different avenues, hundreds and thousands, honestly. So if you're interested in starting that practice and finding that right method for you, then I encourage you to join us inside our monthly membership club, where we'll be talking about meditation mastery and how to silence the mind next week inside the club. So if you're interested in hanging out with us and you want more live training, resources, and feedback from us, then shoot us a direct message and we'll send you the details on how you can join the Elevated Life monthly membership club. We appreciate you joining us live every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Elevated Life series. We love teaching you these simple mindset shifts to create radical transformation in your life. I hope that you enjoyed this topic on how to start a simple meditation practice. How you start is just start.
So true.
So enjoy this meditation practice and remember your challenge. As soon as you click cancel here or whatever, stop, put your phone down and breathe in 10 long, deep breaths through the nose. Get anchored in the present moment. Find your center of peace, and then go out and do good. And we'll see you next weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.